400 billion. That's how much was erased from the software industry in the stock market just this past week. If you thought the AI revolution is just hype and it's still a glorified search engine, well, the markets say otherwise, and you might want to start paying attention. So what we're looking at on the screen here is a bar chart showing that Microsoft alone lost $219 billion this past week. Oracle, Palantir, Salesforce are all bleeding cash. Why? Because investors have suddenly realized that a seismic shift is occurring with how software developers work and how they're valued within these companies. It's not just a coincidence, the fact that $400 billion of value was erased in 1 week. So what actually triggered this massive crash anyway? The short answer is it was all Anthropic's fault. They released a new suite of tools in which analysts are calling software killing tools. So the first of these software killing tools is none other than Claude Code. The second software killing tool that analysts are citing are the Claude Cowork. So this is going to be really cool for automating all of your personal flows. And the big takeaway here is that you don't need to be a tech nerd. You don't need to be an IT professional. The general theme that you should expect is that it's going to get easier and easier to automate things, to build apps. The market looked at all of this and they panicked. They realized that if AI now has the capability to build entire workflows, applications, software, then the value of traditional software companies drops 25% overnight. So let's talk about the actual human impact of all this and what it means for us. So kind of the old understanding was that, prior to 2026, AI is a tailwind. It makes software engineers more efficient, increasing margins for SaaS companies. It's about being more productive. Whereas now, AI is a headwind. So it replaces the need for the software firm entirely. Substitution is the main threat to value. Even OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said he admits that when he is actually using his own ChatGPT codecs and AI assistants, that it feels useless and sad. Someone give Sam a hug. And as much as Sam Altman's feelings matter when it comes to him coding, I think the more telling statement is actually by Peter Coy, market strategist, who says, "We are witnessing the death of a community. Software engineers are talking to each other less, relying instead on AI agents to solve their problems. Even a tight-knit community of developers that traditionally you would, tap your buddy on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm stuck on this. Can you come help me? Now it's like, you're not even thinking about asking your friend. You're like, why would I do that? I've got freaking Claude Code right here." Look, so these big firms, these big companies are not seeing AI as a tool anymore. They're seeing it as more of a substitute, and that matters for you because now the markets are actually moving based on this information. It's getting priced in. You can see Shelby McFadden, her quote here, "AI is not just going to do something to labor, it's going to do something to profits." And I think that sums up a lot of why this last week there was a 400 billion sell-off, because it's that light bulb moment that everyone on Wall Street is realizing that there is a paradigm shift here and it's happening right now. So think about Blackberry, right? It survived as a company to some extent, but as soon as the iPhone came out, its business model was disrupted forever. Well, it's going to be very interesting to watch a lot of these very profitable companies struggle with this. I mean, especially thinking about Microsoft again, the fact that they took a $219 billion bath, in 1 week, and that is one of the premier, biggest software companies in the world. So no one is really safe from this impact. Now, before you go sell all of your Microsoft shares and any other software companies that you own, let me just give you the bull scenario, the positive case for these software companies. In the Axios article, it mentions that investors are still bullish on these software stocks, especially now that they're coming at a steep discount. So are you buying the dip? But maybe the winners could be offering software toolkits rather than single-use applications. And then obviously there's the fact that a lot of these companies are already very established. So AI code may become cheap, as mentioned here, but you can't LLM your way past 10 years of customer data. That is a very significant point, which points towards some security for these software companies, at least in the near term. So what does the future hold for winners and losers, and what does that look like? So stock prices are just a bet. It's what the analysts are pricing in right now, but it was bound to happen eventually. It just so happened that it was this week where everyone in the market had this epiphany and realization that we are here, agentic development is starting, and it's going to have a meaningful impact on profits, and it's going to actually start replacing roles. That is the really big takeaway from what happened this past week. But what matters going forward is not just the stock prices, but how the customers are reacting. We need to be watching customer retention metrics and see whether the customers of these software companies are actually leaving them to have more autonomy by using their own AI tools. Watch for the market to price in AI's broader labor hit across several industries in about a year plus. Okay, so this is the start. It's the first domino. 400 billion is not a small number. That's bigger than a lot of countries' cumulative year-long GDPs. But this could just be the beginning, right? I mean, that's literally what this article is talking about. It's just the beginning. We are getting to a place where AI is going to have quantifiable and tangible impact on bottom lines, on profits. And when you start to say stuff like that, Wall Street starts to care. They start to listen. I want to talk about the future a little bit in the context of where we are today and where we were before, right? We are right around here, right in the middle. So we are making the transition right now from chatbots to agents. However, most people really still see AI as being more in this static knowledge, using it as a glorified copy-paste tool, just basic search engine queries through ChatGPT, when in reality, we're getting much closer to this agentic side of things where you're able to use agents to do anything that you want, create applications, run automated YouTube channels, create websites for you. If you're watching this, you're definitely in the right place because you're one of the 0.1% who understands this behind me right here. So if you stuck with me all the way till the end, thank you so much. If this is your first time on my channel, make sure to hit subscribe and turn notifications on because we're going to be working together in this channel and in my private school community to understand the best way that we can utilize where AI technology is right now, not where most people think it is, in order to make our business more efficient, to get more views on social media, to automate income through strategies driven by AI agents, all of these things. If you're interested in any of that, or you just want to learn more about AI, say something in the comments, say what's up. Love to see you around the channel, and see you in the next one. Peace.